I will introduce our very special guest from our local MFS-NCR team, starting with Michelle Darrell, who is our support manager. So a few words about Michelle. She has been a proud military spouse for the past 15 years, and she's been working alongside military families in a variety of capacities for approximately 20 years. Having the opportunity to see military support mechanisms evolve and grow has been incredible for Michelle, and she aims to bring innovation, experience, and growth mindset to the table when working with our team in order to create valuable programs here at MFS-NCR. Michelle, welcome to our session, and we really look forward to hearing more about what the local team has to offer to our incoming families.
Thank you, Karen.
You're very welcome. Our next very special guest is Cindy Le Breton. Cindy has been supporting military families for the past 7 years. She is our new child care navigator, so we'll be telling you a bit more throughout this call. And Cindy has an impressive total of 25 years of experience working in child care. So, with all that, let's dive in. So, Michelle, I have a first question for you, and that is, according to you, what is or what are the challenges that families encounter when relocating to the National Capital Region?
Karen, that's a big question for a Wednesday evening. But I think it's important to really just hone in on the fact that the National Capital Region is vast. So one of the biggest challenges I think that families present our team with, or military families discuss, is how do we find community, CAF community, within such a big catchment area. So for those of you who are just exploring coming to the area, have not lived here before, or might remember from previous postings, the NCR, the National Capital Region, it encompasses pretty much 100 to 120 kilometers of every direction of downtown Ottawa, including a vast region on the Quebec side with Gatineau, Aylmer, in every direction in that area as well. So I think one of the biggest challenges is that awareness around how MFS-NCR aims to support families in creating community, and how families can prepare to root into the communities in which they choose to live based on a variety of individual circumstances for their posting. So that would be the first sort of highlight of the NCR experience that I'd like to hone in on. And then others sort of fall into that same realm, with the sense of it's an opportunity to live in a space that is really heavily focused on bilingualism. So our two official languages, of course, across Canada. However, here in the NCR, there's a heavy emphasis on being able to navigate in both official languages, particularly on the employment side of the house. So that's often something families see as a point of awareness that they want to think about as they're coming in. And I really do believe that one of the beauty pieces of what we do, and we'll dive into this a bit more, I'm sure, here is we try to meet families where they're at on their journey. So not just geographically. So yes, I live in Orleans, and somebody else might live in Stittsville, but it's about knowing what's in those communities, yes, but it's also knowing where people are at on their individual journey. So if a family comes who has particular circumstances that they're looking to explore in the area, and they're finding challenges that are their own individual challenges, we want to explore those with them and find solutions. So think that's a big answer, a big question, but really it comes down to the geographical pieces, the language, the 2 provinces, navigating all that, and then meeting people where they are at with their individual journey.
Thank you so much for that answer, Michelle. My next question would be, what are some tips that you can give to relocating families so that, they can be as successful as possible in their relocation here?
Okay, so tips and tricks. I think that one of the biggest pieces for any posting, so I self-indulgently will say that I was posted here in 2021. And so I've been through the process of moving from somewhere else to NCR, and the things that I had to think about might not be the same things that others have had to think about. At the end of the day, I think the first thing that families should do when coming to any location is figure out exactly some of the pieces that are causing them stress. What are the things that they're worried about? Is it housing? Is it schools for their children? Is it support mechanisms for frequently deploying or frequently absent CAF members? Is it getting to know the area? Is it, really arming yourself with what's concerning? There are some really universal things that I think as CAF families, we think about when we're going through a posting: employment, housing, education where applicable, medical. We know that that's a big issue for families across the nation, not just a CAF issue. And I think that some of those tips would be to start to think about the list of things that are causing you stress or worry, and reaching out to see where we can provide support. So one of my first tips would be know your support mechanisms. If you don't know other supports in the NCR, we're a great place to start. We're not going to have all the answers, and we don't have, everything just at the drop of a hat to be able to provide, but we do have tons of connections in community. We have a laundry list of experiences on our team who come from diverse backgrounds with diverse experiences to link you to those things. So we're a great place to start. So my first tip is reach out to my team. A little cliche, but also very valid. Also know the things that are stressing you so we can help hone in on those prioritized pieces and then build from there and help you build a relationship with your new community. My second tip is to trust your instincts. Military families are strong. We are resilient, but we don't have to be strong and resilient all the time, but we have good instincts. So I think if you're thinking about, something doesn't seem quite right, or you don't have enough information, where do we need to start to resource and look, dig a little bit deeper, whether that's through the CAF and the uniformed members, support system at work, through other friends and family, and through, some of the beautiful technology that we have these days. MFS-NCR, we do have a Facebook page, we do have a website, that's one place. But so many pieces of the community have social media accounts, Facebook pages, where you can speak with other families just like yours and mine to talk about those things that maybe aren't relevant to, or you don't want to discuss yet, or don't think you can explore with, just the MFS team or with the resources that you know. So reach to those already living in the community through those platforms. And then, I think at the end of the day, it's again a little cliche, but you don't know what you don't know. So be prepared for, those little hiccups that come, and then find opportunities to explore those resources to really be open to hearing what's available in the community near you. I think the last piece that I want to speak to that about tips is if you have particular circumstances where you have lots of resources and network in your current location, reach out now to us or to like community services and like similar community services, is what I'm trying to say, in the area, to start establishing those connections now. I say that from a place of, there are some challenges that we are not going to be able to control as individuals. The medical navigation support, family doctors are a difficult one, although we have some resources. But things like if you have a dependent who has complex needs, let's find some supports now that might be able to set up in advance. Do you have some employment pieces that you want to get ahead of so that we can start connecting you with local organizations and local entities to support those employment goals that you have? Education pieces. If there are certain pieces of the puzzle that are really important that you've flagged, let's try to get ahead of those now, whether it's through us or through your own search and detective work. But try to think a little bit ahead to some of those pieces. I could probably talk for a long time about all the different tips and tricks, but it really comes down to what's your journey look like? Who are you and what is your family makeup? Another last thing I'll say is we're an entity that serves family as the military family defines themselves. So what does that mean, Michelle? What I mean is we're not just here to support, families with children or your traditional nuclear style family. As military members and the community, you get to decide and share with us who you define as family. So that could be parents, it could be siblings, it could be trusted confidants, colleagues, friends who really are imperative to your success and support mechanisms as military families. So we're here to support a variety of family personas, and that can sometimes be a new concept to families. We get pegged often as I don't have kids or whatever, so I don't need to go there. But we have lots of resources and supports in place for a variety of individuals. So keep that in mind. Your experience is your journey, and we are here to help with that. Hopefully that was at all helpful.
That was very helpful, Michelle. Thank you so much. Next, I'm wondering if you could give us a brief overview of the different areas in which we can support families.
Absolutely. So the one thing to note is, and we can explore this maybe in the Q&A a little bit further, but although we have a different name, so we're not an MFRC like you might be used to, we do explore and support families in a very similar way. The work is the same in terms of the goal is to provide support and resources and programming to military families. We do have a variety of portfolios, as we call them, so things that we work to be, supportive in. So Karen is our guru in this area. She's our relocation program specialist. That means that anything that's coming up because you're relocating to the NCR or from the NCR to another location, Karen can help navigate getting connected. That might look like connection to an MFRC in another community. It might look like connection to employment opportunities, learning about the area, general questions about employment, education, resources, geography of the area, anything that's coming up for families in terms of relocation. Karen is the go-to. So that's one area of focus. We do have a portfolio that speaks to deployment and work-related absence support. So everything from planning ahead, discussing the emotional cycle of deployment, opportunities for connection and networking with like-minded peers who are going through the same thing, as well as, respite support and access to information on how to come up with emergency childcare plans and building a support network for a deployment experience. We have a ton of families who experience IR in this area, and a lot of TDs, work-related absence pieces that aren't those traditional deployments, and we're here to support all of that. So that really all comes under the deployment portfolio. We have Cindy on the line who may or may not have audio now, but I want to speak to Cindy's role in particular because it is a new pilot project we're lucky to be a part of here in the National Capital Region. So for those of you on the call who have children, this is a key one for you potentially. And for those of you who don't, I'll get to some adult stuff in just a second. So childcare navigation pilot project is a position that we are launching here in a few other locations across Canada to help families navigate the search for childcare options. That being said, Cindy has 25 years of experience in the childcare realm. She not only knows about childcare resources locally here in the wide catchment area of NCR, including the provincial regulations, rules, and processes in both provinces, Quebec and Ontario, but she can also help you come up with ways to vet your childcare that makes sense for you and your family. So we can look at navigating what childcare options are out there. We can look at finding options that will work for what your family needs right alongside you, and then of course help you navigate the vetting process and things to think about when choosing a childcare center that or type of childcare that works for you and your family. We recognize that our children are very important parts of the puzzle. They are crucial. Their safety and their health and well-being at all levels is important. So childcare options are crucial. We also know that childcare access can be challenging. And when you're moving and you're on wait lists, and then things have to shift because you are posted, that can be a real stressor for families. So Cindy's role is really focused on support to that and helping you navigate what's happening in your new location. Cindy, did I miss anything there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can. Yay. Welcome.
Okay. I moved to my phone. I'm on my cell phone and the laptop just wasn't working. No, I think you covered pretty much everything. Yeah.
Awesome. And the great thing about this role is really working with individual families, again, for their individual circumstances to navigate what's out there. So, it really becomes a customized approach to what you're looking for. So that's our childcare navigation. We have adult and parenting programs as well. So opportunities for the adults in our CAF families, whether that be single members, our empty nesters, our dual service couples, whomever, any adult that you deem as family can participate in programs, workshops, personal development opportunities geared at adults. So not the overall family, but just the adult components of the puzzle. We do coffee mornings, and we've done drum circle connection activities. We're working on developing some personal development workshops and things like that. So really just to speak to the adults in our community as well as the parents. So being the parent of 2 children in a military family, I can speak to the challenges that we experience as families can sometimes add additional stressors to the parenting of those military children and youth. So some parenting pieces there that can be helpful as well. And even just navigating to resources in the community. Adjacent to that, I would say, is our child and youth portfolio. So offering those same types of connection opportunities for the children and youth of CAF families in this area, whether that be giving them life skills like home alone courses, babysitting courses, but also offering opportunities for connection and interaction. We've done some really fun activities in the past year where these have just been able to connect and hang out and have fun at a place called Crockadoodle. Here, we did some pottery painting. We've also done more growth mindset kind of fun activities that had an underlying message, so called Grow and Glow, in partnership with our mental health team, just to give some confidence, skill building, self-esteem building opportunities in a fun environment. And then for our older youth, we're working on a youth symposium upcoming, and then also making connections to some of the early years programs across Ontario and Quebec. So that's our child and youth program. We do have a subject matter expert on the team and program specialist responsible for program delivery and navigational support to families with individuals or circumstances that we call complex needs. So whether that's a child with a diagnosis, an adult with a diagnosis, such as finding supports for individuals on the autism spectrum, any physical challenges, or just any complexity that's really unique to your journey that we can help resource you to other options here in the NCR. plus providing opportunities to connect with partners in the community that could be of support. So really important to note that we also have a sensory lending library. So sensory items that are really useful for both children and adults. People can come, borrow them from our location through our website, explore these items to see how they can be supportive of you and your family. Before you go and purchase, some of these items are quite expensive, so it gives you an opportunity to try them out, or just to vary the items that you have in your home. So that sensory lending library is all accessible through our website, and then pick up at our Uplands location. We also have volunteer programs and services that are, for youth and adults to engage with the community in a, give back or pay it forward kind of capacity, and in volunteering with some of our larger community events. We do participate in activities like Capital Pride, Canada Army Run, Navy Bike Ride. We have some welcome events and activities that we do. So it's plus throughout the year, we have programs, workshops, and other opportunities where we can leverage the expertise and experience of our volunteer community. Great way to connect with other CAF families. For the members who might be on the call, sometimes it's really great back to give to the community, and then also be part of your, PER, things like that. So we do want to embrace family members who want to volunteer and find meaningful volunteer opportunities for them within our team. You guys are going to get real sick of hearing me talk very soon. I'm only got a few more, I promise. But
we'll move on to the Q&A very shortly, Michelle.
Absolutely. So we do have veterans and transition support for our families who are going through either medically releasing or non-medically releasing transition from active duty to civilian life post service. So the individual who is responsible for our veteran family program and our family transition program, so medically releasing and non-medically releasing, she works out of the transition center, but is flexible to meet and support families on that transition journey. And I know that a lot of times all roads lead back to Ottawa or NCR, and many people do start to think about, this being a location for wrapping up their military career, or they see it as maybe a final place for their last posting before they look at retirement or release. And so obviously there's tons of intricacy there. There are tons of factors, whether there's some medical pieces, whether it's non-medical, etc. But we're a great place to have the conversation to start to look at resources to support the family transition from CAF to civilian life. And then really important to note that we do have, programs and services that are still there and available for families once they do transition out of that active duty military life. So it's not just, we're going to be here and support when you're in the military actively, but we're here on the transition and veteran side of the house as well. Lastly, I have two things. We do have a very robust second language training program in amidst all of this. So I mentioned that, heavy weight to the need for bilingualism, or at least awareness of comfortability into official languages. So we do have both self-led options and tutor-led options in second language training at a variety of levels. And then lastly, but very importantly, we do have a full mental health team who provides short-term solution-focused, strengths-based approach counseling services to military families. What does that mean? It means that we can see, spouses, family members, children, couples from that family lens in terms of support to mental health, supports in their military family journey. So we do not see members individually because there are other mechanisms in place for the members themselves to access other mental health supports, but we can see the member in the context of family, so couples, parenting skills, family-based mental health support. So it's a lot that we offer. I will wrap all of that up by saying it's really important to us as a team to be modernized in our approach, to be diverse, to be welcoming and open to a variety of conversations and supports, and that we really want to speak to you as individuals on your journey. So while we can do a very generic Q&A here in over the next 30 minutes, there's nothing like us being able to have that one-on-one time with you as relocation specialists or otherwise to really figure out how we can best help support you and yours. So that's my general overarching, discussion of what we offer here and how we offer it. But I'm certainly excited to hear from all of you about your journeys and how what you're looking for in terms of having questions answered about our support programs and how we can link you to the community that you're about to live in.
Thank you so much, Michelle.